Good morning, friends. So, I hope you are now ready to start a new chapter. Today, we are going to start the chapter on triangles. Yes? So, you know the chapter number 6 is triangles. So, you must have been doing triangles from almost the 5th standard, and you by now know what a triangle is. So triangle is a closed figure made up of three intersecting lines. So when three lines intersect, so three lines intersect in more than one point. Why it should be mentioned when three lines intersect at one point only, then these lines are said concurrent lines, and concurrent lines do not form a triangle. But when three lines intersect in more than one point, yes, so it will intersect in how many? If they intersect at three different points, three lines intersect in three different points, then it gives rise to a triangle. So this is a triangle. Now you know the parts of the triangle. The triangle has got three vertices. Vertices means the endpoints. Let me name it, say P, Q and R. There are three sides, PQ, QR and PR, and there are three angles. Angle we have got PQR, this one, angle QRP, that is this, and angle RPQ. The triangle has got 9 parts, 3 vertices. The vertices are, I said, the points P, Q and R, 3 sides and 3 angles. So this is what you have done before. And then the classification. The triangles based on the sides. If all the 3 sides of a triangle are equal, it is said to be a equilateral triangle. If any 2 sides are equal, it is a isosceles triangle. When no sides are equal, it is a scalene triangle. All the angles are acute here, so it is an acute angle triangle. Okay, and if one is then is a right angle, it's a right angle triangle. And if one angle is obtuse angle, it is an obtuse angle triangle. So a triangle will have, if there is a right angle, only one right angle is possible. If it's obtuse, only one is possible. The other will always remain acute. So this is a basic idea of revision. Now we move on to what we did in the standard 9. So do you remember what we did in standard 9? In the standard 9th, you studied about congruency of triangles. Now let us see what do we mean by congruency of triangles. So there is a Euclid's axiom which states when two things coincide, then they are equal. I can give a small demonstration here. You can see my hand, and when I place the other hand on my hand, then my fingers and my thumb, they exactly coincide. Because they coincide, I can say both my hands are congruent. Yes, one is bigger, one is not bigger and smaller. They both are congruent. But this is the correspondence because you can see the way I place my hand. Now, when I change the correspondence, for example, if I keep my hand like this, yes, try to adjust my hand like this, then you will see the middle finger might be equal, but the thumb and the last finger are not equal. When I place it like this, they do not coincide. So, though my both hands are congruent, but in only a way when I place them, they look congruent. When I place them the other way around, then they do not look congruent. So, in the same way, triangles are congruent, but they are congruent only in a certain correspondence. They are congruent only in a certain correspondence. So, let me write on the board here. Suppose I have got triangle P, Q and R. Another triangle X, Y and Z. Now according to condition, for both of them to be congruent, they should be coinciding. Means when I place this triangle on this triangle, and if they exactly coincide, then they are congruent. Now you can see the arrangement. How will you place them? If you can make a small guess, then I should turn the y upside and then bring it here. So first transformation I do, I take the y to the top. I will rotate the y to the top like this. So the xz remains as it is, xz sorry, and I took the y to the top. So y I have rotated to the top. Now the triangle looks something like this. Yes, the triangle will look something like this. And now if this correspondence I pick from here, and place it on this. So if I take this triangle now and place it on this and it exactly coincides, then I can say the two triangles are congruent. So for them to be congruent, what should happen is this PQ and XY should be equal. PQ should be equal to XY. So when I place it here exactly, and I should have QR should be exactly equal to XZ. Yes, placed here. And PR should be exactly equal to YZ. Clear? Also, the angles formed. Angle P, it is formed of two rays, and angle Y, I have to check whether these angles are equal. Angle Q and angle X, I have to check whether they are equal. Angle R and angle Z. So I have to check if all these conditions are satisfied. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 conditions are there. If they satisfy, then I can say these two triangles are congruent. Okay? So I had drawn this triangle and I had drawn this triangle, but then I rotated it because when I want to place it on this, I have to arrange it in a certain way. And when the arrangement is done, and if it coincides exactly, now what happens when it coincides? The sides exactly match, equal to equal, and the angles also match. So 6 conditions are to be satisfied. So if they are satisfied, then the two triangles we say are congruent. And how do we write the congruency? How do we write the congruency? We write the congruency as triangle PQR. One triangle is congruent to triangle. So what is P congruent to? Y. So I have to write the order Y. Q is congruent to X, Z. So triangle PQR is congruent to triangle YXZ. So remember, triangle PQR is not congruent to XYZ. You have to write exactly where it corresponds. You can write 6 correspondence here. PQR to XYZ, PQR to XZY, PQR to YXZ, PQR to YZX, PQR to ZXY, and PQR to ZYX. 6 correspondences are there. It is possible that the correspondence may be congruent in more than one condition. For example, when we have a isosceles triangle. So we'll go to that later on. Now what do you observe here? These two triangles are scalene triangles. Means the sides are not equal. All the 3 sides are different. So here the correspondence will be possible only in one way. So this was the correspondence of two triangles. You did in the 9th standard just for the revision shape. But what do you follow from here? The triangles are congruent if they have the same shape and the same size. They will coincide only if they have the same shape and the same size. So that is the idea of correspondence. So correspondence, I told you, coincide. Same shape and same size. So that will give rise to the congruence. Yes, in the 9th you did. So you learned that in congruence, 6 conditions have to be followed. How many? 6. All the 3 corresponding sides should be equal. Corresponding I said. So PQ corresponds to XY. So PQ may not be equal to XZ, but PQ is equal to XY. So this is the correspondence. PQ is equal to XY, QR is equal to XZ, and PR is equal to YZ. That is the correspondence. So PQR is correspondingly congruent to YZX. I hope this is clear till here. Yes, so it is the same shape and the same size. And you also learned there are certain theorems, certain postulates you did. You don't have to check all the 6 conditions again and again. You proved by your postulate. The first postulate was SSS. What does this postulate say? SSS. The postulate SSS says if the corresponding sides of a triangle are congruent, then the triangles will be congruent. So we forget the angles right now. Only look at this. Only look at this, the sides. If the corresponding side means this side, this corresponding, this side and this side. If the corresponding sides are equal, the triangles are congruent, is called the SSS postulate. And from that postulate we did the theorems. So the theorems were like SAS means if two sides, corresponding sides, and the angle between them is congruent, the triangle is congruent. There was ASA. ASA means if two corresponding angles and the included side are congruent, then the triangles are congruent. This had another version also called AAS. The AAS was if two angles and the non-included side is congruent, then also it is. And the last one was specially for right angle triangles, RHS. If there are two right angle triangles, yes, so the right angles, the hypotenuse and any one side is congruent, then the two triangles are congruent. So you have got 5 conditions. Again, in congruency there are actually 6 conditions, but there is a postulate and some theorems which say if this given 3 conditions are congruent, means the remaining conditions will also follow and the things will be congruent. So this is basically a small revision of standard 9. If you want, you can go through it once again or revise a little bit, because now I'm going to start with the 10th standard. So what is difference in the 10th standard? If you have got any problem in the congruency of the 9th standard, let me know, and I will go through in detail also. But just now to understand. So what I have written here, I have told you what is congruency. So congruency is coinciding, and that can happen when the shape is the same and the size is the same. Now since we are talking of triangles, then the shape will always be a triangle. Okay, so we are talking of triangle. Just now I just gave a rough idea. Congruency can be for any figure. Euclid's axiom states that, and it is an accepted axiom, means it is a universal truth. But here we talk about triangles. So the shape is always a triangle. So if two triangles have got the same shape and the same size, the same shape means what? The sides are equal or correspondingly equal and the size is the same. But again remember, it is not true for everyone. You can have two triangles with the same shape and the same size, but when you place them in another correspondence, it may not be congruent. Only in a certain correspondence it becomes congruent. So this was congruency. This year in the 10th we move to similarity. So let us see what is the difference between congruency and similarity. Yes, congruency and similarity. So the basic difference between the two we'll just check out. So we'll see what are similar figures. First, in your textbook they have given what are similar figures. You can just go through it for a second and see what do they mean by similar figures. So the book is saying a smaller circle or a bigger circle, a smaller square or a bigger square. Yes, what you can see here, the shape is the same, but the size is different. So in congruency, the shape was the same, the size was the same. In similarity, the shape has still remained the same, but the size is not specified. Okay? Now, for similar figures, I can give you the rough idea as today everybody is studying online. You got a mobile with you, so you open any picture in your mobile and zoom it. So what happens? Suppose your picture has a flower. Yes, I'm not too good at drawing, so pardon me. The flower. You zoom the flower. So the flower is something like this. Yes, not accurate to drawing. Pardon me, my drawing. I'm saying again. So in the mobile, you zoomed it. What you can see, the shape is the same, but the size has not remained the same. So this is the rough idea of similarity. So in any picture in your mobile, if you zoom in, now what do you observe? Do you observe that when you zoom, one petal becomes big, but the remaining petals remain small? Have you observed something like that in your mobile anytime? That is why the photo editing apps, when you use the photo editing app, you may change the shape. But when you just zoom, it zooms correspondingly. If one petal size increases 3 times, the other petal size will also increase 3 times. If the center increases 5 times, then the other petal size will also increase 5 times. This is something called similarity. The shape remains the same and the size is changing, but the ratio of the side remains the same. So when you say zoom 2x, so when you zoom 2x, this figure becomes double. When you zoom 3x, the figure becomes triple. But what the size of one petal increases, the remaining petal increase in the same ratio. So here you can see these two are circles. If I start zooming the circle, then at one point the circle will become as big as this circle. If I increase the square, make it bigger. When I make it bigger, what happens? All the sides increase in the same proportion, and then at one point they both will become equal. So this is the idea of similarity of figures, right? So I hope you have understood. So take your mobile, take any geometrical figure, zoom it. Take a picture of a triangle, take a picture of a square, a circle, a rectangle, a quadrilateral, a rhombus, a parallelogram, whatever, and zoom it. As you will zoom, you will see that the shape remains the same, the size is changing, and every side is changing in the same ratio. So on page number 119, we read the definition. Two polygons. Now polygons mean square, rectangle, trapezium, whatever, or triangles also. Two polygons of the same number of sides are similar if their corresponding angles are equal and their corresponding sides are in the same proportion. I repeat, two polygons of the same number of sides are similar if their corresponding angles are equal. First condition, corresponding angles are equal. And condition number 2, we have the corresponding sides are in the same ratio. Okay, so these are the two conditions for similarity. I hope it is clear to you on the board and it is readable. Yeah, you can read it clearly. Now let us move further. So I will now draw on the board a triangle. Say again P, Q, R. P is 2 centimeter, PR is 3 centimeter, and this is 4 centimeter. This is a rough number, it is not to scale, okay? Don't go to accuracy, just understand the idea. If you cannot see, I'll write it a little bigger. This is 2 centimeter, 2, this is 3 centimeter, and this is 4 centimeter. Okay? Now let us zoom this figure. Let us zoom this figure. So, on zooming, suppose I have increased this side from 2 to say 3. So now I got a new side xy. Okay? So I have increased this side from 2, zoomed it, and it has become 3. So how did the side become 3? What did I do? I multiplied 2 into 1.5. So it became 3. So I increased this side. How much I made it? Not double, but 1.5 times. Yes? So I have zoomed it. So I told you the ratio remains the same. So if I zoom this side also by the same ratio, then the 3 should become 4.5 centimeter. So if this became 3 centimeter, then this became 4.5 centimeter. But what do you observe? The sides have become bigger, the angle in between has still remained the same. When you extend the lines further in the ratio, they remain the same. And this which was 4 increased by same ratio became 6 centimeter. So on zooming by 1.5 ratio, I zoomed by which ratio? I had side of 2, 3 and 4. I zoomed it by 1.5. I got 3, 4.5 and 6. So these two are still similar figures. They are not congruent, but they are similar. And in this figure, the angles are still equal. If you measure them, the angles will still remain equal. If you check this angle and this angle here, this angle and this angle here, this angle and this angle here, will still have remained equal. So then this are said to be similar. How you know similar? Corresponding angles are equal and corresponding sides are in the same ratio. Now let us see what is the same ratio. The ratio of this side and this side, 2 upon 3. 2 upon 3. And the ratio of this side and this side, 3 upon 4.5. And the ratio of this side upon this side, 4 upon 6. So 2 2s are, 2 3s are. So this is also 2 by 3. 1.5 into 2 gives 3. 1.5 into 3 gives 4.5. So these are in the same ratio. So here you can see the angles have remained the same and the three sides are in the same ratio. So because they are in the same ratio, they are said to be similar. But what is the similarity correspondence? So to write here, triangle PQR is similar. PQR, see the order X, Y, Z. Triangle X, Y, Z. So the correspondence is very, very important. You have to mention by which correspondence the triangles are similar. So again, what is similarity? The angles have remained the same and the sides have increased, or they can also decrease, but by the same ratio. So when you got your mobile, for a moment you can take any shape, any triangle in your mobile, zoom it up, zoom it down and check it out that the angle will still remain the same and the sides will increase or decrease in the same ratio. So this is the idea of similarity of triangles. Yes? The book has given a certain activity. You can go through that activity if you want, but you can also use your mobile, zoom a picture in, zoom a picture out, and you will know the shape will remain the same and the size will increase or decrease by the same ratio. Okay, now there is an activity in the book if you want to try out. To try out this activity, you will need a scale and a pencil. A protector also will be very helpful. So take out a scale, a pencil, a protector and a neat piece of paper. Okay, so we'll try an activity now to understand ratios. So take out the clean paper, neat paper, your scale, your pencil and your protector. So what you have to do is, with the help of a scale, draw two arrows and make an angle. At any angle, you can have this any angle. If you want to measure this, kindly measure by say 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 45 degrees. If you want to measure, otherwise this is the idea you have to make. Let me call this called OA and let me call this OB. So you can go along with me and do this activity. I have drawn OA and OB. Okay? Now you will need your compass also. You have got a compass with you. You will need your compass because we have to draw certain arcs. Now, what you have to do is take your compass. Now you put your pencil in the compass to draw arcs. On the scale, measure the compass, say by 1 centimeter or 2 centimeter, whatever you want. Measure the compass. Yes? Your compass on the scale you measure, say 1 centimeter. And now, putting your point here, draw an arc at 1 centimeter. So you got a point here. Now putting your compass here, 1 centimeter, draw an arc again. So keep on drawing arcs of 1 centimeter. Okay? So you have drawn arcs of 1 centimeter. So after you have drawn the arcs, you can call the points, name them, call it say A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7. Okay, how many you have drawn, that much you make. So here you have done what? Again I tell you, you measure 1 centimeter, put your point, draw an arc, again on the same point, and keep it accurate as much as possible. Accuracy will give you a better answer. So you have done points at every by the arc. You could do it by a scale also, but the arc will be more accurate. Now for OB, change the distance. Say make it 2 centimeter or 3 centimeter or 1.5 or 2.5, whatever you want. Change it from, let us say make it 1.5 or say make it 2.5. So 2.5, you get your first point here, 2.5, you might get your second point here, 2.5, third point here, 2.5, fourth point here. Okay, so I call it B1, B2, B3, B4. Now what you do, connect A1 and B1. Connect. Sorry for the cut in between, there was a minor disturbance. So I hope you have understood the activity. So you join point A1 and B1, join A2 and B2, join A3 and B3, join A4 and B4 and keep joining. Okay? So you join. Now, you know we have taken A1 as 1 centimeter and this was 2.5 centimeter, right? We have taken 1 centimeter and 2.5. So video scale measure what is this and mention it here. Okay? So we had OA1 was 1 centimeter, OB1 we had taken 2.5 centimeter, measure A1, B1 and write down whatever it is. Also OA3, so it is 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter. So we know OA3 will be 3 centimeter, OB3 will be 2.5, 2.5 and 2.5, so 7.5 we already know. But A3, B3 you will have to check. Now what is the ratio? 1 into 3 gives 3, 2.5 into 3 gives 7.5. So whatever you got here, if you multiply by 3, you should get this value. If you get this value means the ratios of the side has remained the same. And here you can see the angle is also fixed. The angle is fixed and the ratio of the sides has remained the same. So I hope it is clear to you. So this is a small activity. So try it out nicely, properly and let me know if you have been able to understand this. So what I did, I drew one ray OA. From the same initial point, I drew a ray OB. Then I got points at 1 centimeter on the ray OA with the help of a compass. Yes, the compass will put the point, draw the arc where it touches, draw the point, draw the arc where it touches, draw the arc 1 centimeter. Here I went for 2.5 centimeter. So I have got OA 1 centimeter, OB1 2.5 centimeter, and A1 B1 I have to measure what I got. I have no idea. You have to measure and see what you got. Same way OA3 I noticed 3 centimeter, OAB3 is 7.5 centimeter, and A3B3 you have to measure. And you will see that more or less, it not be very accurate, but accurate more or less, this measure you get multiply by 3 will give you this measurement. So this is a clear indication that when you increase two sides of a triangle in the same proportion, the third side will also be in the same proportion. So this is the idea of similarity of triangles. We will have to do the theorems on similarity of triangles, but this is a basic idea. Now the homework for today, I am going to write on the board. Actually, the homework is very simple. It is exercise 6.1 from the textbook. If you have the textbook, you can use the textbook and do it. If you do not have the textbook, then I can send you the homework later. Okay? So, is it clear to you? You can recheck the video one more time and understand. I took you to the 9th standard first, explaining what is congruency. So, congruency is having same shape and same size. But in similarity, the shape remains the same, the size increases or decreases in the same proportion. Yes, this chapter is very important if you have to understand trigonometry. So we are not going very fast. Take your time and understand. If you need, then you can also take out your 9th standard textbook and go through similarity one more time. Sorry, congruency one more time. Congruency is a very also important topic. If you understand congruency, then you will get a very good hold on similarity, and similarity will give you a very good hold on trigonometry. So it goes in a sequence, so kindly revise. I will send you the screenshot of the homework. So we are done for the day. Thank you very much for paying attention. Do the exercise. Tomorrow we will go with the further topics.